Okay, chapter 20, voice. And this is going over tone, persona, and irony. This can change our experience of a poem, so they're very important for poetry. The tone can be changed the meaning of words. It's like, for example, really? And you're like, really? Okay. The tone can mean particular qualities for a person's speech. The tone is the poem's attitude, really. Uh, in the poem, My Papa's Waltz is a good example for tone, for you can read the heartbreak of the boy's feeling by seeing his father's drunk. Here's a quote from it, and you can see. The whiskey on your breath could make a boy dizzy, but a hang-on like death, such a waltz was not easy. As you can see, it has a particular a tone of heartbreak. And then we go into persona, which is the second big one about voice. Persona is a character taken on by a poet to speak in a first-person poem. Sometimes a person is not actually a person, but a figurative person. For example, a persona is in one of my favorite poems, Edgar Allan Poe. The poem is The Raven on page 290. On page 692. As the poem is the first person, the narrator is about a man who lost his beloved and a woman named Lorelei, and he's talking to this crazy bird. And that's an example of persona for it. Speaking in first person. Okay, and then we go over to the last one, which is irony. And then irony is a discrepance between what a poem is saying and what it actually means. Example of irony is a person with a nickname, Speedy, even though they are not fast at all. But really slow. And there's many types of irony. Most familiar is formal irony. It is in a speech that is a sarcasm, and it's the best verbal irony that poetry is satire. Three other types of irony in poetry are situational irony, which is when a poem portrays a situation to which what happens, and it actually goes in the opposite direction of what is suspected to happen. And then we go to dramatic irony. Irony is referred to the situation in which the reader knows more about the character circumstances than the character himself knows. So it's kind of like you see, like, oh, don't go in there, there's the killer in there, and then he doesn't know it. It's like a TV show. You know it, but the character doesn't. And then lastly, there's cosmic irony, which occurs when a force is beyond the character's control, like fate or supernatural, is foils their plans, kind of like in the Odyssey. Well, that was chapter 21 about voice. I hope y'all like it. Thank you. Bye.